we delve straight after this into the power panel number 3. Okay, so this IVASS Power Panel 3 is on future of vehicle after sales service business, present, future, based on present, and the out-of-the-box future, the way it normally is. Workshops, layouts, consumer outreach, dashboards, vehicle chemistry options, tech, and infra. And for this wonderful session, let me welcome Mr. Arun Malhotra. Sir, it's an absolute pleasure to have you back with us. He is an auto industry veteran and WAF Hall of Fame. He's an IIM Calcutta alumni, has over 3 decades of leadership experience in the Indian automobile industry, including senior roles at Bajaj Auto, Maruti Suzuki, Mahindra and Mahindra, and as Managing Director of Nissan India from 2014 to 2018. He has served on SIAM's Executive Council and chaired Auto Expo 2018. Currently, he is a strategic consultant, independent director, and a prominent keynote speaker at leading industry forums and national media platforms. Also, he happens to be the chair and moderator for this wonderful session. Happily giving you Mr. Arun Malhotra. Welcome, welcome, sir. And now to bring forth the panelists for this one. Mr. Vinkesh Gulati, Chairperson, Automotive Skills Development Council, ASDC. Welcome, sir. He leads major skill development initiatives for the automotive sector, promoting industry-aligned training and future-ready capabilities, including EV technologies. He transformed United Automobiles into an award-winning dealership and serves as Senior Vice President of the United Group of Institutions. Widely recognized with multiple national awards, he continues to shape automotive policy, education, and workforce development in India. Welcome, Vinkesh, sir. You are not burning enough calories, let me tell you, my dear audience. You are not, yes, you got the drill right this time. Thank you. Next, I will invite Mr. Rama Shankar Pandey, Mentor-ACMA, Aftermarket, ED, Paracoat Products Limited, and co-founder, Autoverse Mobility. Welcome, sir. And what a beautiful smile, such a warm, welcoming smile. He is a purpose-driven automotive leader and social impact practitioner with 28 plus years of entrepreneurial and turnaround experience. Former CEO of Tata Green Batteries and Hella India Lighting, he now leads the Work with Dignity Foundation alongside roles with Autoverse Mobility and Paracoat Products. A National Social Defense Fellow, he champions road safety, skills, right to repair, and workplace dignity. He supports national missions, industry bodies, and youth and technician empowerment to advance ethical, safe, and inclusive mobility across India. Next, I would like to call the lady back on the panel, Ms. Nikita Sinha, Head Customer Experience and Service Planning, JSW Morris Garage, India. Welcome, welcome, ma'am. She is experienced in after-sales strategy, business planning, and service marketing at JSW Morris Garage Motor India, contributing to initiatives like MG Shield, RSA program, and front-end empowerment. Previously associated with Nissan Motor India, Tata Motors, CV and PV, and Volvo Eicher, driving customer delight, productivity, and profitability. Welcome, ma'am. I love this. I love this. Okay, so next I would like to bring Mr. Vikas Kuthiala, co-founder Global Assure. Sir. Oh, he's waving so lovely. Hello, sir. He is a seasoned entrepreneur and angel investor with more than 35 years of global leadership experience across FMCG, healthcare, and emergency services. He has successfully launched and scaled international SOS and Falk's India EMS businesses. Having invested in over 70 startups across India, the US, and the UK, his deep operational insight and expansive network power Global Assure's innovation expansion and long-term strategic direction. Where are the claps? Thank you. And it's time to welcome our last panelist for this wonderful panel discussion, Mr. Datta Mahajan, GM2W Service, Kinetic Green. He's an IIM Calcutta alumni and a dynamic ICE and EV industry leader with 25 years of excellence in service, parts and aftermarket operations. He has previously held key roles at Might TVS, Mahindra First Choice, Hero Honda and Bajaj Auto. Today as GM Customer Experience and Parts at Kinetic Green, he drives national transformation and his team recently won ET Brand Equity's prestigious CX Team of the Year Award. Many congratulations, sir. And here it's time to give the panel, this wonderful panel, to our moderator. Sir, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction, for the generous introduction of all the panelists and myself. We're talking for the future of the after-sales industry. And we got a very illustrious panel, but more than the illustrious panel, they represent different parts of the ecosystem. Or they can say, bring you a different perspective of entire thing. So we'll get straight away. I'm looking at the clock. The time is 45 minutes. It was told in the morning it is 1 hour. So probably the Duckworth-Lewis method has started working and overs have been reduced. But we'll try to score the runs in the 45 minutes. Have I with your support? Unless the time is extended by some grace by WF. So coming straight to Vinkesh. Vinkesh, you wear many hats. You're an educationist. You're a prominent dealer, voice of the dealer. You're president of FADA. But I think the new hat you are wearing, which is very important, is head of the Automotive Skill Development Council. Now, from the after sales and before we get into the future, one of the things which you want to look at, where do we stand today? Because future, they say if you don't look at the past, you stand condemned by it. But if you follow the past blindly, you also stand double condemned by it. But we still need to look at where we stand today. So, on the skilling perspective, and this is skilling would be across the board. It could be in dealerships, it could be in garages, it could be at various forums. Where do we stand today?
Thank you. Thank you, Anuj, for calling me again on this platform. And thank you, Arunji, for a question out of the book. Obviously, out of the box we are talking. Frankly, I'll tell you, the current situation is what future situation is because EV is already there. And when we talk about future, it's actually EV. Maybe the percentages changes. We have what, 7-8% in two-wheeler, 5-7% in cars. This ratio will increase, but I don't see near future having hydrogen cars as compared to EV today. So whatever current challenges we are handling is whatever future challenges will be. And ASDC, we are mindful of that. So practically with the kind of cleaner energy push we are seeing from the government and the overall community, the changes which is happening at the dealership level, at the mobility level, is an opportunity and a challenge both. Since past 50 years, what has happened, we have shifted from BS0 to 1, 2, 3, and it was actually engine. The parts, the components were similar. Some different, some improvement, some alignment. But as we shifted from BS4 to BS6, we went through a big jump. And now from, I'll not say shift, but addition of EV has again created that jump what is seeing in the mobility. And that is where the bigger challenge and opportunity is for us, which is authorized dealers and the aftermarket team also. Because it's now not the infra what we have, it's basically driven by the person, the company or the organization or the workshop who wants to succeed has to become technology driven. And obviously which means that you can't be technology driven without your manpower being skilled enough to understand. So I still remember there are people in my workshop who with the sound of the car could tell what are the fault. And today, if you ask them to even put a diagnostic tool and tell me what is the fault, they are clueless. They'll say this data will go to the OEM and they will tell what is the fault. So that's the kind of change which we are seeing. We have started talking in skilling about mechatronics and all that. I don't know how the current level of technicians who are even still not well versed with how to handle a good high level diagnostic tool, how will we train them on mechatronics and all those things? That is where the skilling comes in, and like I said, it's a big opportunity and a big challenge both. And if we all come together, this is an easy problem to have and a good future to go ahead for it.
So, Vinkesh said that the future is already there. The future doesn't have a vision, but you need to how to take care of that future, or to make that future happen in a good manner. If to sum up what Vinkesh said, if I have to sum up in 2 lines in a Hindi couplet, I would say, piston connecting rod के IC engine का ज़माना हुआ पुराना, अब तो है electronic software और SDV का ज़माना. That's what your thought was? So that's the thought which I get it. Now coming to Mr. Rama Shankar Pandey, I don't know whether the person did the great job introducing you. I always find it difficult to introduce you because you wear so many hats.
There should be a QR code for it.
QR code, and I would say अगर मैं इन्हें हिंदी में कहूँ कि सर्वोत्तम की प्रतिभा है, वो भी सही नहीं होगा. मैं तो कहूँगी इनके अलग अलग रूप होते हैं, अवतार होते हैं. So which avatar are you wearing today hat of? और कई अवतारों का मुझे आपका
No, aftermarket head in ACMA.
Okay, aftermarket ACMA. So that at least is clear. Now coming to aftermarket, because you look at from a very vast perspective, what do you see where we stand today? A frank assessment, pluses and minuses. If you take a snapshot today.
I think there are a lot of pluses only because of the changes which happened. What you look at today, all the vehicles are, forget EV alone, overall the electronification of a car or a two-wheeler or a truck or a bus is huge. You call it more mechanical to mechatronics to electronics to software. Is it IT industry or the auto industry? I think it's all of it. So the first good thing has happened that our industry will become very attractive the way we are going. Because for talent to get attracted into a typical old haath kala karna mobile and garage with those, this already today it is changing. Today when you have to repair a car, the scanner is a laptop or a mobile base. The dongles are very glossy stuff. The way you do the error codes, and it's not the only thing which I'll say not negative, but something structurally problem with India is the monopolization of aftermarket by OEMs. I am very vocal about it, not now, 10 years back, 15 years back.
Remember, there is one person sitting who represents
it's
major
fine.
OEMs,
Yeah.
and there are 2 persons represent major this thing.
But the good
and
thing is that
person who does business with them. So you have to be careful when you speak.
I always had this. It's not something new to me. So the monopolization, which is typical to India, and you ask the MNCs that they don't have. So within the OE family, you can see a lot changing within them. Today, Toyota has opened up its own independent aftermarket brand, right? So you see it's changing for good. But when Mr. Khattar started Car Nation as an independent aftermarket, you have seen the headwind completely running it down. Now, I'm talking from that time to now, it's only positive. OEMs are supporting, they have the parts in the market now, they are supporting even some of the trainings outside. ASDC got formed, which was not existing then. When I started my Bosch career in aftermarket, 97, 98, it's all coming from that monopoly mindset, even from the component supplier. Even for Bosch and Hella kind of company, there used to be queue for parts. There used to be rationing, allocation. I had some of my bosses who used to say, "Achhe din the," right? Jab wo rationing karte the. So for you to know today, it's all great thing. First, electronification of car is making it very attractive. Of course, there are challenges like skilling has to be done. But for any technician to get women participation in workshop, to get good talent to the aftermarket ecosystem, in fact, aftermarket leaders are sitting on this dais was not there in past, believe me. You don't have MD and CEOs coming from independent aftermarket. You had only OE, forte, which had their salespeople growing. I was probably one of the lucky guy who got hold at Bosch, at Hella, grew very fast in my career also to be one of the youngest MD for any listed MNC. Probably aftermarket has come ages. And this is a great place now to be because money is to be made here, not only selling cars or selling two-wheelers.
So, sir, obviously they have the benefit of working in a very less infra and without dead stock of parts, no OEM control on labor, no...
Come join us. Come join us.
So, we'll get into that debate, rapid fire later. So we'll keep it. That's why I get them to the left and right, so that I can hold them properly. because they are great friends. But
in ASDC.
but the ASDC and their colleagues even, but they differ in views. So that's a true democracy. And one thing which he mentioned was the monopolies are changing and it has to be more widespread. And if I have to use a phrase in Hindi, जागीरदारी का ज़माना ख़त्म हो रहा है, कर्मभूमि का ज़माना शुरू हो रहा है. ये नहीं कह रहा कि डीलरशिप कर्मभूमि नहीं करते थे, वो भी कर्मभूमि करते हैं. So Nikita, Nikita has got a great career and I had the pleasure to work with her also in the past. So from a company, you've been part of the commercial vehicle also, passenger vehicles also, across 2-3 OEMs. What has really changed? Where do we stand today, the positives and negatives?
Thank you everyone for having me here. Thank you, sir, for that great question. A few things which I'm fundamentally seeing which is changing is the entire definition of what after-sales business is. Typically from say 10 years ago when I was in commercial, the after-sales business was typically a list of parts, the number of times the vehicle would come for service, generating that revenue, and that was the end of it. From there, moving on to say now the passenger side of the vehicles, and while working with Nissan where the cars were not connected, but they were slightly getting now, there was a lot of mechatronics in the car. Again, the business, a little bit of focus was on driving business through customer experience. No longer could you do a transactional business with the customer. You had to drive experience. But now I think we are in the third stage where the experience itself is no longer standard, where the customers are looking for personalization, where the customers are saying, you should tell me exactly what is needed. It should be available at my fingertips, and as much as possible, I should not be interacting with multiple people. It should be digital. I should be able to book something at one end. Somebody should pick my car. The car work should get done. It should come back to me. So the expectation of the customer, which means your experience points are now reducing, which means again the business points are also reducing.
That's changed a lot.
That's changed a lot in terms of the after sales, and that in my experience what I'm seeing is in the transition that I've seen in my small career, that is going to increase like a multifold in the future. Because the cars
we'll talk about the future. So you are saying a major changes have happened.
Yes.
In this, and everything is being, what Nikita mentioned, is from the lens of a customer.
Yes.
The lens of the changing world.
Yeah.
And the customer is experiencing in different segments. That's a part of it.
Yes.
So that's an opportunity or a headache?
So it's both.
Headache also.
It's a headache because now with the new energy vehicles that are coming, you have very less scope for parts to change. There are no oils. There are no moving items which you will change in a car. So business opportunities, yes, there is a definite threat of those particular businesses. But that does not mean there is no opportunity. Now there is opportunity to sell some softer aspects. Sell a lot of software as a service on the cars. Like for example, and this is a very wild thought, today you have heating seats. Tomorrow you can make it as a monetized thing. You don't have to have heating seats all the time. Sitting in OEM, I can switch it on when you pay for it. I can switch it off when you stop paying for it. So there's a lot of other levels of opportunities that are
So there are certain opportunities which are falling by the wayside, but new opportunities are rising.
New opportunities.
And we'll talk of the new opportunities. Yeah. Coming to Mr. Mahajan, your exposure has been in two-wheelers, both in two-wheeler companies and now in two-wheeler EVs also. Yeah. Now you looked at customers at various mass end, premium end, people who are EVs, which is there. Is it the same uniform, or is there a differentiation the way things are happening?
Yeah, certainly the differentiation is predominantly noticed because the EV customers, if I have to see the transition from ICE to EV, these are the customers who believe on technology. They are the customers who want to test it. They are the customers who want to take that first move and tell to the other colleagues or their friends that how's the new vehicle. So the most important point over here for the industry point of view is that to give that qualitative experience to these customers, because they are not only talking about their uses, but they are also quietly defining how ICE is better than EV, or is it better or not. So they are the brand ambassador for the EV technologies also. So on one side, when this shift is happening, the customers are coming on board. It's equally a high priority list for a manufacturing side to take care of these customers, to give that expected service related structure and experience to these customers, so that this EV adoption goes in a long way. I think that's the key point when it comes to the EV adoption also.
So that's what you're saying is the customer is also more demanding and customer is there. We'll come to the customer of tomorrow. Now coming to last, not last but not the least. When I see, can we redefine your company as a name from Global Assure to Mehuna?
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Yep. When the world's, it keeps the wheels of the automobile moving.
Absolutely.
Because when you need it, and when you desperately need, you are there to serve.
Correct.
So has this changed? Has the realization come?
No, it will never change. So we are in the business of helping, our partners, our brand partners like MG, of turning adversity into delight. We are in the business where the price of getting it right, you have just delivered as per expectations, but the mistake of getting it wrong can be very costly. So we are in the business of roadside assistance, which means that you might face an episode in your life once in 2 years, 3 years, maybe never, right? But in our office, when we get 10,000 calls a week, every single incoming call is of anxiety, is of stress, is of very high expectations. And increasingly, as more women drive, as more senior citizens drive, as people drive long distances, as stranding yourself in a traffic jam in the night in a Delhi NCR nightmare, which means that the stress levels have only gone up. So we are always trying to chase and manage and deliver to expectations of the customers. 45 million cars, passenger cars on the Indian roads, right? About 10% of them face an RSA event every 2 years. So therefore, we are in the business of making sure that our staff is trained first for empathy. Our staff is first trained in ensuring that you are building the confidence. Our staff is trained to give end-to-end full stack service till it is not over. So we are like the emergency medical services for yourself in an ambulance, we are for the car. So we have to demonstrate and live empathy all the time. That's the first mark that we must cross internally. Now, therefore, when we are looking at how can we improve ourselves by using various tools and levers, technology, customer service, we are forced to go beyond just the auto industry. Because we know that in your general life, you are today being trained and pampered by Eternal, by Swiggy, by Zepto, in delivering not just groceries, but even geysers, boilers, fans, ACs in 10 minutes. So as the expectation cycle spans shorter, it translates across domains, and we have to live to that.
So you have to live the thing, and
we have to live.
And the future, you have to even raise the bar further.
Yes. Now, two major strands that are available for us to track the future of our business. I mean, the traditional ICE vehicles, the industry is well understood. The risk is well understood, which is why large amount of the business goes into the insurance industry's hands. So you can define the risk, you can transfer the risk, and therefore we are delivering not just to the OEM partners, but to the insurance. But as we move forward and as the EV industry starts to become bigger, the risk is open.
Okay.
The risk is not known. So therefore, if we have to deliver to the same expectations, we have to partner with the OEMs in collectively understanding what the open risk is, invest buffer infrastructure so that no matter what happens, where it happens, the end point of customer being serviced is the same. So that's our challenge for the future.
So good. So one thing you said is you have the most challenging task amongst all the people sitting here. People from depression, dejection, disappointment, you have to convert them to delight.
Absolutely.
DQ. Huh?
We are not able to do anything good.
Or you have created the depression, dejection.
If we all work fine, we'll be out of job.
So it's like what he's saying is you'll be out of job. So they have to create a problem or a challenge.
We are in the business where the less you use us, the more value you derive.
And then the rates go down accordingly. So that's great. So let's shift gears. I mean, we are looking at the future. Let's look at 3-4 things which I have heard from everybody. One, we say the customer is becoming more demanding. That is one. Second, technology of the product, technology of servicing, and even technology of the customer uses is changing dramatically. Third, the fear is also looming large that if you have less oil change, parts are more stable, and also electric vehicles, we say, have lesser parts, so where does the business come from? I mean, this is a question. If you have workshops of 30, 40, 50,000 square feet, are the workshops in cars like that size? Huh? What happens to what? Do they become vibrant workshops or they become a mausoleum like a Taj Mahal? Huh? That's something which has to be done. So looking at, we need to, you can say, excite every stakeholder. There's a customer, definitely you look, but there's a dealer, or there's a businessman who's rendering after-sales service, and then there is somebody, a watchdog like the government or the policy makers, who need that the market or the customers should get satisfied and the market moves up. Now, Vinkesh, coming to you, what do you think needs to be done that everybody is a win-win situation, and how these stakeholders should collaborate to co-create that future?
So see, very frankly, start with authorized dealers first, not the scaling or aftermarket. The latest example in India, if you go ahead with it, is Tesla. I'm not talking of direct-to-customer sale, but they haven't opened a service setup in India. They have opened 2 body shops in India, only. One in Delhi, one in Bombay. Which means the regular maintenance or service, they don't need a place for it. They'll go do it on the air, or some global assure RSA will support to do. So we'll have some more work for him and less work for us. So seeing that things, and if we really shift pure to electric, I feel that's the way things will lead to. When, like ma'am said very clearly, Tesla does that, ma'am, where 6 months it's cold, you can get the heating on the seats, and then you stop payment and they'll disconnect it. They can do anything. Even a joke came in that if you take EMIs through OEM company, they can block you if you are not paying installment also. So all that is going on. And frankly, if I talk from the authorized dealer, no doubt, if I'm a pure EV dealer, my overall workshop setup won't be 50,000. It would be small. So I handle Bajaj two-wheeler also and Chetak also. For Chetak, I have a 3-bay or 4-bay workshop. For ICE Bajaj, I have 25-bay workshop. So obviously, the number of sale and the number of times vehicle comes in. But this industry, from the dealership side, has always been sales is not earning, service is earning. Everybody remember is a term called SAR, service absorption ratio, which always said कि service से कमाओ और sales में discount देके गाड़ी बेचो, because अगर customer होगा तभी कुछ चलेगा. So थोड़ा और बोल लो.
बिल्कुल
नहीं आपने माइक उठा लिया.
नहीं माइक उठा लिया नहीं आप बोलते रहिए.
So coming back to again, ma'am, the software revenue, what we are really dreading will not come to dealers. These OEMs will take directly to them. They are very good at making verticals. Sorry, you are also an OEM. So they'll create another vertical inside. So L&D is a vertical where dealers are charged for what they should give us as charity. So this vertical will also come where they'll charge all the customer money and the dealers won't be involved. I hope this doesn't happen because India is a different scenario. On the air, doing that, payments and all that will be a difficult for Mercedes could have done it, but think of Maruti's or Tata's or Mahindra doing 2 lakhs of customer direct billing won't be possible.
So I hope the role of the dealer is integral. Yes. You can't do away without the dealer.
Yes.
That's where the Tesla example started from. So
Tesla was just to tell you what the future actually is. But Tesla is a very small number. They can do it. Like Mercedes, they are able to do it because the numbers are very small. You can't do it in bulk. So coming now to, I shouldn't do it, but aftermarket, I feel...
he's wearing the hat of aftermarket.
No, so I'll
you also wear that. No, you can also have a comment. We'll come to him last.
I want to come because I want to come through the scaling side also.
Okay. So he's wearing the other hat now.
Yeah. So see, India has a very good park of vehicles, and it will continue to. And we are emotional. I feel there'll be at least 5% people who are not emotional about their kids or wife, and they'll be more emotional about their cars or bikes or whatever.
I don't know how many would agree to that, but you can go with your statement.
It's a marketing line. Okay. So what I'm saying, there'll be always business for aftermarket in India for years to come. Authorized may be a problem because authorized vehicles come for around 2 to 3 years till the warranty time. But what will change is that they'll also have to skill themselves. So the major issue won't be authorized versus aftermarket. The major issue will be skilled versus unskilled.
Skilled versus unskilled.
Even today in Delhi, with Mercedes, BMW all having workshops, there are still Automark, Pandey doing where people send their crores of vehicle to get it serviced because they're confident about that. So that will make a difference in future, and that is where ASDC comes in. Even if dealers or non-dealers or aftermarket, dealers obviously get that benefit from the OEMs. But for aftermarket, we are now, Rama Shankarji is also a post holder here. We are dedicated to it towards to make them technologically skilled so that they can handle anything in future.
You know, one thing which you said, Ramashankar, I'll come to you later, because I think let's take the view of others. You said is that there were only two dimensions which workshops looked at, authorized, unauthorized. And now you added another dimension, skilled and unskilled. So it's become like a BCG matrix, 4 elements. You can be authorized but unskilled. Yeah. You can be skilled but unauthorized, or vice versa. The best would be to authorize and skilled. So you'll have 4 quadrants. Each of the quadrant you have to focus on. You know, one of the questions which he mentioned also, which he did mention in passing or directly or indirectly, was when you are getting into this area where no workshops are required, or a company thinking of doing without workshops or lesser workshops, where does this, do you think first of all the customer is ready? That touch and feel which is important. I remember in the COVID time people said dealership will not be required, everything be digital, 18 steps. But those 18 steps are back to where? We still have the touch and feel thing. So is that an important part? So how do you combine digital, as they say, the digital part and the human interface for the future? Customer is delighted and the dealer is also delighted.
So I'll start with the Tesla point that Vinkesh ji just raised. Yes, they have said that they will not have any workshops, but they've given some DIYs to the customer that they have to do.
But do you think the customers
Now, yes, I'm coming to that.
DIY is generally a concept, it's not worked in India.
Yes, exactly. So they're telling the customers you have to change your AC filters yourself. They put up some videos. Now, when I looked at that video, my first thought was somebody from urban company will come and do this now. Because the customers will not do it, which means the workshops will not be done away with. We will need workshops. The role of a technician and the role of an advisor will need to be evolved, which is where the skilling will come in. The traditional mindset may not work anymore. They will need more inputs of how to talk to customer. They will need more inputs of how to personalize the customer experience and therefore generate revenue. And another part, when he spoke about base, is very, very interesting, is when we have calculated, and we have almost 40% of EV load now, the productivity factor itself is huge. So ICE cars typically in an ideal best situation will give say 3.5 productivity, EVs are giving 5.5, which means we will need smaller setups. So therefore the question of SAR when it comes in, the investment and the expenses itself should go down and then generate revenue. So it's a mixed bag of both. It shouldn't be ki Taj Mahal banakar and then we are trying to generate the revenue. We'll create smaller setups. It will be easier and faster to churn out the car, but
Taj
revenue
Mahals are safe. They will not become Taj Mahal.
Yes, they will just they'll be just
like
smaller models of Taj Mahals. Yeah. So workshops definitely that touch and feel for an Indian consumer is going to stay. They are not going to do it themselves.
Now coming to, I will come to you. We heard voice of your colleague, your friend, and also Nikita, this workshop concept which is there. And you know, we heard this a lot of time with great fanfare. It was launched, that right to repair. Is it become extinct? Because I don't hear the word again.
You will hear much more. So
No, I've not heard it.
It is coming. It is coming, but not to you.
आएगी ज़रूर चिट्ठी मेरे नाम की, सब देखना है, वही बात है.
Not to you. But I think what you asked, Vinkesh, was the right question. Is there something where we have win, 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 win for all the 3-4 stakeholders? I think it is there, and not now. Also, only thing we are not able to visualize it because we remain in our own isolated chamber. Because almost in second IVASS, I remember Anuj invited me for a keynote. That was my first interaction with this group of people. I had my keynote and I can bring out that presentation. It was exactly co-creation of aftermarket with OEM and aftermarket, OEM and IAM coming together.
OEM and IAM.
IAM. So OEM is your OEM aftermarket, and then independent aftermarket is all the companies who support OEM, they have their own aftermarket.
And this will be done willingly.
Willingly. They have to. Worldwide they are doing it. Only in India they are not doing it. Worldwide there's a very good participation. Look at Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, anybody. But they did it only when there was also something hanging like a sword. Today, right to repair is that sword which is coming, and because of that, I clearly see that a lot of changes are happening. So win-win-win will happen when consumer experience, Nikita, you told, is very critical. Consumers will get more personalized service they need. So which means you have got millions of consumers to satisfy. You have got thousands of authorized garage as your point, and you are some 50 vehicle manufacturer. Look at the mathematics of India. Everybody wants software-driven, personalized service. Who will come in this? Company like Global Assure, company like Autoverse, what we do? We are basically a sandwich between unorganized and a super organized people.
So you're having best of both the worlds.
Today, worst of both. We want to have best of both. So what happens is, when Global Assure gets a call, whom they are depending on? Those mechanics or technician who are not authorized by Mahindra or authorized by Mercedes. They are living on their own. Never any OEMs cared a lot. In fact, two-wheelers have done quite a lot, that they have trained a lot of people. If you look at ASDC also, there's a huge contribution of two-wheeler. Even Mahindra has done it. A lot of OEM, those OEM who are really want to co-create. So my offer is here. Forget past.
So
It's future now. Future में हमें साथ मिलके चलना होगा. ASDC is a fantastic platform where we all come together. FADA comes, SIAM comes, ACMA comes. तीनों हैं यहाँ पे. The idea is to democratize knowledge. Democratize. हम अलग से कोर्स कर रहे हैं अपना level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 ASDC का. मारुति अपना कोर्स कर रहा है. Mercedes अपना कर रहा है. Mahindra अपना कर रहा है. We have to build like UPI, like Aadhaar. One protocol for the country. Industry must come together now to co-create this protocol. So our mechanics are those engineers who can ensure that safety of the vehicle and consumer experience of the highest level. It's there to collaborate.
I can just add something to what you said.
Yeah, I'll come to you.
So on this training and standards across the industry, which are currently fragmented, so we can't wait for that to happen. It might take a long time. So as a part of our commitment is that we have, in the last 3 years, aggressively expanded our company-owned fleet, company-employed people, wherever business density permits. And that is organically
And this
gone
is
up.
without any physical infrastructure.
No, with our own trucks, with our own
trucks.
people. We train them. We give the quality assurance, because unless we have that, we can't handle scale across 200 geographies.
Okay.
You know?
So what I hear from Vikas, even and I hear from Rama, Shankar, Pandey is that छोड़ो कल की बातें, कल की बात पुरानी, अब लिखेंगे अब नई कहानी. But I only hope जब नई कहानी लिख रहे हैं तो वो symphony होनी चाहिए. It should not be a cacophony. Because let me just put there's an elephant in the room. Companies and dealerships make more money by doing service and selling parts. So the warranty period is going up, and there is some way that the independent service initiatives haven't really borne fruit at this point of time. Or also you can say the customers have got a good deal here, the others have not got put their act together. It could be both ways.
No, but you see the data, na? The data says today, look at car segment, two-wheeler and commercial vehicle, independent aftermarket is bigger than OE eco-space. Look at the data of car segment also. The spurious counterfeits are the real enemy which OEM and IM together should fight. Today what is happening, we are fighting each other. The idea is that the fight should be standard versus non-standard, what Vinkesh said. Skilling versus non-skill. There is no 4 dimension, there is only 2 dimension. Standard parts, standard services. That means the workmanship should be standard. Who is standard? ASDC is the standard for, everybody should accept that standard. FADA, OEM and aftermarket. So as you said, the symphony will happen when you have something code written. The code is the standardization.
Standardization.
ACMA is doing standardization for parts with the help of SIM, because all parts are sent by ACMA members, 1,000 members we have. ASDC has got FADA and other dealers coming together. So this is where, as you said, we have to come together, build that protocol and agree on that protocol. We are friends at the end of the day. We support each other. We have no other relationship. It's like a parent-child relationship. We are component manufacturer. We are the children industry of the parent industry of OEMs. Now the time has come to put a parity. हम थोड़े बड़े हो गए हैं.
So protocol is the need, there is the customer is there, and there is an opportunity. So it's not that the opportunity is less. Coming to Mr. Mahajan, after the vociferous, he's acting as a social activist today also, wearing another hat also. So
I will talk on that hat also, because so going forward with the discussion what we had with the panel members, I think we discussed about a workshop with 50,000 square foot area, and then a small workshop, what you rightly mentioned. I think the right fit for the workshop in the future will not be measured in terms of square foot of workshop. I think it would be measured with the software diagnostics capabilities. It would be measured in terms of how your EVs, particularly how much you have a high voltage risk safe area at your workshop. It would be measured in terms of not with the number of technician counts, but with the skilled technologies, how much you have at your place. It would be also measured with the help of, like say, the tech lab, what you have. So I could see this transition to the future, what we are talking about. And there was also a point related whether it is physical or digital. I think physical is the answer, what the industry has to go. And I'm a strong opinion with this, because when the EVs were launched, people were talking about, hey, EV does not require the service. It's just a software update. It's just a body shop either. But practically not. Industry has seen this very clearly. You can't compromise with the fundamentals of the service. You need a person, a physical person, to understand the emotions of the customers along with the vehicle. For this, the physical setup is required. However, we certainly can't ignore the digitization part of it. It is required. Hence, the physical is the answer to it. And the new gen setup we talked.
So you said physical is the answer in terms of that support required, emotional touch required, understanding required.
Exactly.
And digital could be like a catalyst.
Catalyst to the.
Or to a process orientation which is there.
Exactly.
And that leads to it.
I'll just like to also add upon what Sir was mentioning about the aftermarket sector. See, the aftermarket sector, there is a high time that Indian automobile industry gear ups to this standardization of this aftermarket. Because when I launched this the concept of multi-brand two-wheeler service centers, when we studied, first of all, when we tried to launch, I tried to figure out how big is the industry. And let me tell you, there was not a single standard article available in India all across
Size of the industry
that what is the size of the industry.
And Rama says the industry is so large, because where do the vehicles go?
Yeah,
ultimately they need more service.
Two-wheeler, the kind of the records we are breaking up, we are the world #1 manufacturers over here. So when we worked out the industry size for 2025, and I worked out 5 years back, in fact, so the industry size should be around 50,000 CR.
50,000 CR.
And that's the unorganized sector we are playing. So there is a big scope and a requirement where we have this thing in place. Okay. So looking forward for that.
So from the global assure, or I would say this, to keep, as I said, keep the wheels moving, which is there, and that reassurance, reliability, reach. What do you think will be the new developments which will happen?
I think
something will be accelerated, but some new developments will be required.
I think the recognition that we are integral part of a strategic value chain, and we are part of the common experiential realm. We are not a tactical engagement partner that when my car breaks down, somebody will call and a tow truck will come and take the car away, and it's not my problem. I think if more and more levers will go into the hands of the OEMs when it's an EV, right, their dashboard will change. It'll have to go beyond just the car, because going back to what the previous keynote speaker was saying, there will be a large issue of battery recycling, battery swapping. there could be a second-hand non-OEM market for batteries that can be sold that are cheaper. And there can be software platform that will help you assemble a car outside the OEM shed, because if the parts in a car is not 3,000, but only 35, and getting simpler, then I think the whole industry could be reinvented. But the reality that the car will break down when and where it should not, and some third party has to come, will remain. And we will have to make sure that we are integrating to whatever tech platforms that are being used. Already, we are under a lot of stress as to at what point do we put AI, in our call centers? When do we use bots? Because we are aware that if a call comes in, a real human voice makes the difference in the first 20 seconds, and not just technology.
So, one thing which you said is your business, or which is keeping the wheels moving, should not be seen as a stepney or a spare wheel.
Correct.
It is an integral part of it. The
Yes,
integral
of the
experience,
experiential
a
realm of
strategical
the-
perspective.
Yes.
It is strategic. So that's, but is that mindset there or not? So now, since I think the clock is ticking away, we'll have a rapid fire round, but I would like the response to be just in single lines. So we'll keep Rama Shankar for the end, because there used to be movies, Raj Kumar used to come in the end.
Yes.
So we'll keep Rama Shankar at the end. We'll start with you, Nikita. Not that you are not important. I mean, you're as important or more important. Two things which you think people who are not in the OEM space, or who are in the unorganized space, or maybe skilled space, they should do which they are not doing to give confidence to OEMs.
Number one is, I think the content needs to be relooked. The traditional content needs to add in a lot of elements of now AI. And I mean, one is to bring in the AI element, and the outcomes of the AI that the people on ground need to be trained on. So that is one area that the content itself needs to be revised, just from the physical repairs to understanding more of the digital part of the repairs. So that is one area I feel that it will need to be added into,
Okay.
whether it is an organized sector or an unorganized sector. Like sir spoke about having a standard training.
Okay, fine.
thing, yeah.
Now coming to Vinkesh, slightly difficult question, not a slightly tricky question, but I know you are an all-rounder. You can manage everything. Two things which you think, and Mr. Lahiri is also sitting, please be careful, because the question can come to you. Two things which the ASDC is not doing to the full potential, which can really help this movement of after sales.
I feel only one is left. ASDC came into existence with the support of FADA, ACMA, and CM.
Yeah.
And the problem is, it's like the child has been born, and now parents have made it clamorous. So, single line. So, like he said,
Parents have made it? Sir,
they've
Lavaris.
given up.
नहीं इसके English
Given up. I was trying
English
to use your Bollywood points. So, point is, again, OEM have their own L&D vertical, whereas OEM made ASDC to help in training, skilling. Why do they want their L&D vertical? They train all the dealers, technicians, whereas we,
So that's
as a
one thing.
body, have a duty to
But
do.
that is a responsibility given to the OEMs. For about ASDC, what else they can do? You have to put the ball in the court.
We are just trying to manage the three verticals
Acha.
anyhow, to give that importance so that we are all on the same page, so that it's easy to fight
Okay,
with the future
okay.
and be prepared for that.
So you said, since this is a creation of that, he comes from Allahabad, you have that Triveni, Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati, Siam, ASDC, FAD have come in. Now, उस गंगोत्री तो शुरू हो गई और मिल भी गया, पर चलते रहना चाहिए वो, संगम होता रहना चाहिए, अब separate नहीं हो जाना चाहिए. That's one thing which I hear. Coming to Mr. Mahajan.
Yeah.
In two-wheelers, since the aftermarket is, people say, is much, much stronger, what could be done better than the quality and the vehicles which is improving and all the new technology coming, which is not being done by the aftermarket?
I think the aftermarket, first of all, has to tie up with the ASDC, or the skilling of the technician is the most important thing. Second part, the aftermarket should win the hearts of the customer by giving that quality assurance. because the customers still have a doubt when they send the vehicles to aftermarket.
Coming to Mr. Vikas, two things you expect from the OEMs which would help you a long way in the movement of
I think
your movement.
two things which should be happening now are not, but should in the future. One is please work with us in partnership to understand our data. There's a lot in our data which tells you why cars, bikes break down, how often, for what reason, and that can be fed back to your product team and design teams.
So it's good diagnostic tool.
And second is that as the era of connected cars takes shape, India maybe recalls aayenge.
Okay, good.
And therefore, technology partners, we will be in a position to become an arm and legs to do it elegantly.
You want to add something?
Vikas ji, one thing, openly I am saying, whatever you are doing is a real good support to dealers. We are very happy that you are there in the system, because providing RSA from our breakdown team overnight or doing, it's really tough, and it actually disturbs our regular process of workshop. But we were doing it. Since the time RSA and Global Assure came, we have a sound sleep. There is somebody who is...
So sir, OEMs वालों को बोलो ना हमारे साथ
So
काम
now
करें.
we have come into a mutual admiration society. पहले आप भी अच्छे, मैं भी अच्छा, लाजवाब. Coming to you, closing हो रही है. So at the closing, you always have a group photograph, everybody smiling, whether they fought each other in the beginning or end. Coming to Rama Shankar Pandey ji. Should I call you Pandey ji?
Whatever is
Acha, fine. Now, my point is, you have seen all the stakeholders. You have been part of auto components. You've been part of ACMA. You are part of OEMs. You are part of industry bodies. You've been part of government even. You worked in the government also. Two things which you think the stakeholders should do together, which they are not doing, to really benefit this revolution for after sales.
I think first thing is, which ACMA is doing quite a lot, but I think FADA also has moved there. The whole mindset of working for captive customer. Customer एक बार आ गया, अब वो देता रहेगा. So that democratization of that mindset, the moment all the OEMs also think the same way, and especially SIAM thinks the same way, for the greater benefit of society, for the greater benefit of the consumer, we will see a natural alignment of all the players together. Because ये एक दूसरे के साथ ही जी सकते हैं, बड़ा clear है. Consumer सबसे ज़्यादा अगर इस पूरे लड़ाई में अगर कोई सफ़र कर रहा है तो customer कर रहा है. That consumer who has bought the vehicle. Now, if you really care for them, look at a multi-brand garage in a remote place. It can manage everything, right? So it has the best of both. So if we can have best of all these players together, the way is to think democratically, think India scale, think India way. Sarkar bhi wahi kar rahi hai.
And who will be the Zubir Mehta, who will be orchestra so that symphony happens?
Okay, in this case,
one word.
Yeah, we don't want to. I think ASDC has a very good starting point
ASDC.
because हमने इसको जन्म दिया साथ में. अपने पास ऐसा कोई body नहीं है. See, DHI is separate, MOTH is separate. So ASDC can be starting
So Mr.
point.
Lahiri, your responsibility goes up. The moral responsibility also
यहाँ
goes
से
up.
शुरू करते हैं.
So I think we are running out of time, but we can have 2 or 3 questions because our time was cut by 15 minutes. So you have and we are allowing or not? 2 questions, the audience. Okay. So please keep the question short. We'll go slightly behind. Mr. Nurula, Nurula सबसे पहले एक पीछे चले जाए. हाँ जी, yes. Keep the question short. And can somebody come to the mic closely? Crisp, short, and if you want to focus it to some person, name the person also.
Good evening, sir. It is to the entire fraternity who is sitting on the stage. What is that OEMs or the independent aftermarket or ASDC doing for the body shops for EVs?
Okay.
Is there a difference between ICE vehicle repair work and EV repair
So
work?
body shops for EVs, which is there. Who will answer this question? Who will take it? Vinkesh can answer.
See, very frankly, it's still not in aftermarket. It's still under authorized dealers what it is happening. And there are some set of equipments which OEMs have put at all the dealership, which is used for mechanical separate and body shop also separate. I agree, it may be not the best of it because it's just started, and it may not be available at all the dealerships also, because there are some equipments which are very costly, and there are tier 2, tier 3 towns where one OEM may be selling 3 or 4 products. I'm not talking about MG, which is now 50, 60% sale, 70% is off. EVs, but there are other OEMs which are doing 5%, 10%, where maybe their authorized service stations in body shop or mechanical are not up to date. But I feel we have started. Another 6 months, 1 year down the line, you will have all the OEMs having the kind of equipment and technological expert needed for EVs.
So the journey started, strong foundation. Mr. Pankaj Narula, you wanted to ask a question. And the question is directed towards whom?
You decide.
Achha, I'll decide. Okay, that's good. Okay.
You know, since morning we've been talking about skilling. I think in the first panel, second panel, and this panel also we talked about skilling. Now in this panel, it has become very evident that there is an organization called ASDC, which was born, and the parents have left them, abandoned them. Now what is it? What is it that made the OEMs not recognize the efforts which have been done or not done by ASDC? Why have they not aligned to the activities that have been done in skilling? When we hear that there is a huge demand, everybody starts talking about numbers, there is a huge demand of skilling the people. And ASDC has been created for that purpose, and that OEMs contributed towards that. Now, is it that OEM did not appreciate the work which was done by ASDC? Or is it that it was only created for the heck of creating it?
So Vinkesh, the question comes back to you.
So I'll tell you.
Mr. Larry, you would like to come on stage along to support?
The way it was started, it was basically to support our Prime Minister's mission of skilling. PMKVY, blah, blah. There were a lot of schemes where money was being poured in. Initially, the organization, all the skill body worked for that. Slowly and steadily now, for the past 2-3 years, we have started working for the industries, what we represent. Wouldn't want to directly answer your OEM question because I am also a dealer. But the problem is, somewhere ASDC is used when an OEM is not able to deliver anything. So like, if they want to do a CSR of skilling women and they know they are not capable to do that, they'll come to ASDC. When they know they are not able to provide skilled manpower at the dealership level for the freshers, ASDC is required. So it's not the first point of going, it's the last point of going. As of today, like apprenticeship, we are doing around 2.5-3 lakh NAPs every year with all of you. But when we talk of skilling and training, we do around 2 lakh, 1 lakh annually. That's it. Whereas our requirement with the growth, what you are seeing, CAGR growth, we need at least 1 lakh additional manpower every year in the automobile sector. Whereas we are training 1 lakh and only 40-50% are being able to retain in the system. So a lot of support is needed from all. So like even in ACMA, when ACMA works, we support them for their in-house recruitment, training, skilling. But for outside, we are still struggling to discuss. With OEMs, they are supporting us for all the trainings which is at the entry level at the dealership. But those people, once employed by the dealership, their skilling ASDC is out.
Okay.
Every OEM has their own vertical to earn from them.
So we are actually running out of time. I'm getting very strong glares from the organizers.
Maybe,
So
maybe because Narula ji has also told about future, maybe Vinkesh, important here, because I'm also part of the leadership, I take responsibility what you are hinting on. Yes, ASDC has not done the same job which OEMs expected in the beginning. But as he said, last 2-3 years has been different. At least we can also own the responsibility now. 3 of us are working, me, Prabhu and Vinkesh. We own the responsibility. Any expectation of today, we commit on this stage, because Anuj always says action from discussion. We commit you on a personal responsibility. We will take it forward. What OEM needs, ASDC will deliver.
Okay, so I think trending on a positive note.
I think there is a very strong need to showcase the capabilities that exist with ASDC and for OEMs to realize, yes, they can depend on ASDC.
Sir, can I talk with
for
you
doing
offline,
this
please?
thing.
So I think the whole idea that today is what has come out clearly is that the after-sales business is huge. The potential is huge. There's a pie for everybody. And The customer is changing, the technology is changing, the vehicle is changing, the overall environment is changing. So we need to, all the organizations, especially ASDC was mentioned, we need to coordinate better, collaborate better, co-create better. If we do these three things, the future is with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Well, I would like to just say that kuch hua nahi hua, they had a gala time. And you know what? Laughter is contagious. They were laughing whether I was getting it or not, or I was maybe getting 50% of what they were discussing out here. I was laughing out there and I was enjoying it thoroughly. So if it has tickled the right parts in your brain and it has tickled the funny bone inside you, please give all of them a loud round of cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And now it's time for felicitations. So may I now invite representatives of Madhu's Garage Equipment and Jerry Sir to come on stage.